If I ask you whether you are sentient, you will undoubtedly assert that you are. Allow me to double-check that assumption. Are you indeed sentient? Perhaps the question itself seems a bit silly. The chances are that in our daily lives, we would certainly expect fellow human beings to acknowledge that they are sentient. This could be a humorous-inducing query that is supposed to imply that the other person is maybe not paying attention or has fallen off the sentience wagon and gone mentally out to lunch momentarily, as it were. Imagine that you walk up to a rock that is quietly and unobtrusively sitting on a pile of rocks, and upon getting close enough to ask, you go ahead and inquire as to whether the rock is sentient. Assuming that the rock is merely a rock, we abundantly anticipate that the erstwhile but seemingly oddish question will be answered with rather stony silence, pun. The silence is summarily interpreted to indicate that the rock is not sentient. Why do I bring up these various nuances about seeking to determine whether someone or something is sentient? Because it is a pretty big deal in artificial intelligence, AI, and society all told, serving as a monumental topic that has garnered outsized interest and tremendously blaring media headlines of recent note. There are significant AI ethics matters that revolve around the entire AI-is-sentient conundrum. For my ongoing and extensive coverage of AI ethics and ethical AI, see the link here and the link here, just to name a few. You have plenty of loosey-goosey reasons to be keeping one eye open and watching for those contentions that AI has finally turned the corner and gotten into the widely revered category of sentience. We are continually hammered by news reports that claim AI is apparently on the verge of attaining sentience. On top of this, there is the tremendous handwringing that AI of sentient caliber represents a global cataclysmic existential risk. Makes sense to keep your spider sense ready in case it detects some nearby tingling of AI sentience. Into the AI and sentience enigma comes the recent situation of the Google engineer that boldly proclaimed that a particular AI system had become sentient. The AI system, known as LaMDA, short for Language Model for Dialogue Applications, was able to somewhat carry on a written dialogue with the engineer to the degree that this human deduced that the AI was sentient. Despite whatever else you might have heard about this colossal claim, please know that the AI wasn't sentient, nor is it even close. There isn't any AI today that is sentient. We don't have this. We don't know if sentient AI will be possible. Nobody can aptly predict whether we will attain sentient AI, nor whether sentient AI will somehow miraculously spontaneously arise in a form of computational cognitive supernova, usually referred to as the singularity. See my coverage at the link here.